Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio, so today we need to take a look at, well, a bunch of stuff that's been going on in the Pokemon TCG. We've got a bunch of bits of news that we need to be having a little bit of a chat about. And I want to start with something which I was a little bit surprised by, and I'm a little bit jealous of, and I don't know exactly how to go about doing this. So what's gone on is we've got some new merch coming out of China, which isn't surprising. China's had a bunch of merch that's been coming around recently. What's surprising is that it's Clodsire, and it's absolutely amazing. It's fitting in with their new Gardevoir set, which is going to be coming out, and it's just a bunch of Clodsire stuff. Clodsire and Paldean Wooper. But if we have a look at the playmat to start off with, this is among my favourite playmats we've had in a long time. I've stopped importing so many playmats from Japan, not because I don't think they're cool, but because, to put it bluntly, I have too many playmats. And I keep going to events and getting more playmats, and I don't know what to do with the playmats that I have. So, my bar for which playmats I actually keep and use is incredibly high right now. It takes a lot for me to go and buy a playmat, except for a cool event playmat, obviously. But a non-event playmat, it takes a lot for me to go and buy one nowadays because I just have too many playmats. Well, this just vaults over that bar. It is so good. But it's China only. Also, usual deal, if anyone's in China going, hang on a second, Walsey, I could hook you up with one of these. Please hit me up on Twitter. We'll get a trade going. It will be amazing. Because I love Clodsire. Clodsire alone is just adorable. And obviously we had a bunch of Clodsire stuff at Worlds this year. But now we've got this. Yeah. Stunning playmat. Going along with the playmat, we also have sleeves and a deck box using what is essentially the same art. It's all just a bunch of Paldean Wooper chilling on a Clodsire. And one of them's a bit sleepy, and one of them's just sitting very content. One day I hope to be as content as that Wooper. And one of them's just been out a bit of water. And they're just chilling and having fun. And now we got sleeves, we got deck box, we got a playmat, and then we also have a card album to actually keep your cards in. It's a shame we don't have a playable Paldean Clodsire, because I would love one of those right now. But at least not one that's actually seeing any kind of play and success. But just having all of these goods, honestly, just makes me super happy. Most of the time I see random deck boxes and playmats and all from China, and I'm like, well, that's cool. But I'm not so excited. It will be fine. This is the first time in a little while I've seen this stuff coming out of China and gone, oh no, I'm in trouble. That's amazing. So seriously, if anybody is over that way or knows a good place to try and get some of this, I feel like I need to turn up to a bunch of tournaments with this playmat and just sit and flex with it with my lovely Poison Ground boy. There we go. New Paldean Clodsire stuff. A little bit weird, but very cool. If you want something much closer to home and much less exciting, how about the new Ultra Pro Elite Series with Gengar? I'm going to be honest. Well, I say I'll be honest with you. Come on, we've done this before. I don't need to tell you too much about this. It's so uninspired artistically. However, these are actually pretty good products. The deck boxes are actually pretty nice. They're Alco Flip, they're Pseudo Leather, they're actually quite hardy. They keep your cards quite nicely, and they're easy to open and get everything out. And they've got magnetic close that they are actually quite nice. Now, you can buy similar kind of things from Game Genic, which I think are even nicer, but they are actually pretty nice. And to be fair, the Pro Bind, I like Ultra Pro binders. Now, I prefer the equivalent kind of things from Dragon Shield personally. I think they're better. But I do think these are actually quite nice. The sleeves, these Apex sleeves as they're called, or Apex Deck Protector sleeves, I'm not terribly familiar with them. So I wouldn't really want to say one way or another how good they are. I haven't spent a lot of time actually using all of this. So take that with a pinch of salt. But generally speaking, these are among the better products Ultra Pro do. And here's the thing, right? Product-wise, yes. But artistically, it's just back to the stock Ken Sugimori artwork. There is a nice little picture on the back of the binder, if you're into that. But even that's just a little bit meh. I can't bring myself to be a fan of these. I'm sorry. Also, why 105 sleeves? Pokemon decks are 60 cards. Why 105? Are they just doing like what other companies do with 100 and adding in an extra 5? Like, if you're buying a set of 60, an extra 5 to get up to 65 is fine. But what's it? I mean, if they're actually free sleeves, 5 extra free sleeves, that's lovely. But they're probably not, and I just don't get, like, why? Why not a nice even 100? I get going from 60 to 65, because if you get 60 and one breaks, then you can't use your sleeves anymore. But 105? That's weird to me. These are actually quite good products, assuming they're like the other ones. They're quite good quality-wise. I'm talking about the binders and the deck box, which I have used. These are the kind of things where if I see these binders on sale, 100% picking them up. But outside of that, they just look a bit boring to me. I'm sorry. But hey, let's go to something a little bit more exciting here. Let's go with another Pokemon Masters EX playmat, which is being released via a lottery. Of course, I showed you about the Lily one the other day, and I think we all agreed that was kind of cool. And if you play Pokemon Masters EX, you can look at that and go, hang on a second, that's kind of awesome. And I told you that it was frankly weird that there were going to be 5,000 that were given out over in Japan, but only 250 given out in the West. And I also told you that over at the Shibuya Card Lounge, they were essentially, doing it up to look like the whole Lily playmat, and it was actually kind of cool. Well, they're doing it again as another crossover, this time with Hot Air Arena, and we've got N and Zoroark and Cynthia with Garchomp, and then Steven with Metagross, which kind of makes sense because of the whole Steven deck. But then Lance and Dragonite and Leon and Charizard? Like, they're clearly going for the champions here, obviously. They're clearly going for, like, a champions theme. But, yeah, it's clearly like a crossover with Hot Air Arena. But then they've gone for other stuff as well. Oh, and if anybody's wondering, yes, there are 5,000 being given out over in Japan. And 250 being given out over here. And yes, I know that's very strange, and that seems to be inconsistent, and all I've got to say in regards to that is, yes, I agree. That is true. There we go. I don't have an answer for you. I don't know why there are so many more being given out in Japan rather than over here, but that's where we are. But I will tell you that these are actually, these are among the coolest and most exclusive playmats you're actually going to see for the Pokemon TCG. So, if nothing else, this is kind of brilliant, I think. Also, it seems like there's no difference in the English and the Japanese one here, which is very important. If there were only 250 of the English, and there was a difference, then that would be a ridiculously difficult playmat to get a hold of. As it is, that does not seem to be the case, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. Just bear that in mind, all right? But don't get me wrong, these are still going to be fantastically difficult to get hold of. They're going to be very expensive, they're going to be very sought after, and I kind of like this. I like the idea that we've got this weird crossover between Pokemon Masters and Pokemon TCG, where they're giving out these playmats that an awful lot of people are going to miss out on, but then it's going to be a really cool thing for those few people that actually do get them. Now, it doesn't actually start for a couple of days yet. It doesn't start till the 14th of March, but The Lily one we talked about recently. Hopefully a bunch of you managed to get your entry in for that. And then you're going to have 2 weeks to try and enter to get this one, which might be even cooler. I'm not sure. I just really love the way they're doing this. I want Pokemon to do more crossovers between the TCG and their other games, and I think this is a really cool way to do it. What I really want is Masters-themed cards for the game, but then again, the Trainers Pokemon basically are Masters-themed cards, in a way. Regardless, I want to know what you think about all of this, so let me know in the comment section. Get us! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. And get shout-outs on the channel like the lovely Quentin Journo, who's been a supporter of ours for a while now and is a very lovely person. So shout-out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.